Good evening, everybody! Welcome to the final round of our 1958 F1 campaign, coming to you from Morocco on the African continent. We are currently in the warm-up session, as you can see, cars are leaving the pit lane and they're going to be practicing with full fuel and getting acclimatized to the race conditions. I'm Jason White. I'll be your commentator for this race. No one with me in the booth at this time, but if someone feels like joining after they've retired from this race, I'm not wishing it on anybody, but if they choose to join, then we'll have someone else in the booth. You can see David Saber doing a burnout, getting ready for the, what is in English, the Moroccan Grand Prix. Last race on the schedule. And I'll tell you what, it's really hard to believe that it's already November of 2022. Another exciting year of ISO racing is about to go into the record books, but we still have several key events to go. Today, of course, it's 1958 Formula One cars at Ain Diab, a very demanding 7-kilometer road circuit. I was talking with one of our more long-standing members of ISO, and he suggested that we may only see 4 finishers at this race. Well, we'll see. But there's a map of the track for you. It's public roads on this circuit. Some more historical tidbits care of Juha. 1958 was the first and only time that the Moroccan Grand Prix was included in the World Championship. The series would return to the continent in 1962, with the South African Grand Prix held at the Prince George circuit, which is near East London. The Ain Diab circuit that you see here was made of public roads, as I said, and was the first used for a non-championship race in 1957. At the time, here there was little more than desert, but the area has been developed since. Let's go out and take a look at some track action while we have the time. There's a whole slew of cars going through the desert here. As I mentioned, we're nearing the end of the 2022 season, and the ISO team has already revealed its plans for the 2023 season, and you can find them on our forum. The link to that place in the forum is in the description for this video. We're going to have 1986 Formula One, 1980 BMW Pro cars, and most interestingly of all, in my opinion, the 1990 World Sports Prototype Championship. There will, of course, also be an Indianapolis 500 in May. We can't go here without doing one of those. And several other challenging events encompassing the Lucas Vidro Trophy. So head on over to the forum and you'll get the details there. We're looking forward to having a very successful 2023. Also, if you care to donate to help us to cover our server costs, we are always appreciative of that. There is a help link in the same part of the forum that you can click and help us out in that regard. And we want to thank you in advance. Remember, your participation and your support is what keeps this community going. And I mean that sincerely. Without people driving the cars, without the enthusiasm that's being shown year in and year out for this league, it doesn't happen. So as far as the 1958 F1 Championship is concerned, both titles have been wrapped up. Tim Hille has won the driver's title, and Ferrari have won the constructor's title, but that doesn't mean that there isn't something up for grabs. Let's take a look at the driver's situation right now. Tim Hille, 40 points. With the asterisk there, you can see that the drop scores are taken into account. In the driver's points, Anders can only take second place from Juha if he wins and scores fastest lap, and Juha doesn't score fastest lap and finishes lower than 5th. If Juha scores a single point, he's safe. So there's that. In the constructors table, right there, In the constructors table, second place is still open between Cooper and Van Wall. Van Wall needs a win combined with the first place Cooper finishing third or lower. That would bring them on equal points, and then we have to do the tiebreak stuff. Van Wall would take the title with 3 wins against 2 for Cooper. And if you go on the forum, there was a long, long list of tiebreaks that occurs, just in case the points are equal at the end of the day. Maserati, despite having more points than Van Wall, can't take second. Even with a win, they'll be on equal points with Cooper, and their current score 34, and would lose on a tiebreak with 1 win against Cooper's 2. So there you go with those tiebreaks again. Cooper can only improve its score by finishing second or higher, and that would always put them ahead of Van Wall. Many thanks to you, Hoff, for providing this critical information. There's a reason why I'm not an engineer. Numbers sometimes scare me like spiders. So there you go. But that's where we are with the championship. But just rest assured that both championships have been decided, so we can focus our energies on this one race. Trivia question for you to ponder. We actually have 2, but we'll do the first one here. Trivia question. Who won the non-championship 1957 Moroccan Grand Prix? Was it A, Jean Barra, B, Juan Manuel Fangio, or was it C, Peter Collins? We'll have the answer later on in the broadcast. Okay, we've spent a lot of time talking about the action without actually showing it. Let's take a look here, see if we can find somebody who is nearing the start-finish line. Well, there's someone who's going for a ride into the desert, or into the brush. Let's see. I'm not as familiar with this circuit as I am with other ones, so I'm not entirely certain where the start-finish line is, but I'm going to look for it on here. Maybe I'll be lucky and catch it. There we go. Okay. This is the start-finish area. I believe it is. Yeah, the gap, this time has just started. So this is John Team going for a lap now. Let's go on board with him. Here we go. He's in a Ferrari. Heading down a straight here. And there are some bridges where people can look at the action and cross over. And you see those hay bales off to the side there. And I don't think I'm being particularly astute or cerebral when I say that they're probably solid. So something that everybody's going to want to avoid is you see a big moment of oversteer there for John. Coming down. And we didn't broadcast all of the 1958 races this year. We didn't really have the staff to do that. But because a lot of it comes down to people are in the race and not available to broadcast. But it is a very exciting series, and we were glad to bring a few of them to you here. So it looks like it's pretty genteel here as you're going through the desert, but then there's all of a sudden a really quick flick left, right, or something that'll tend to throw you off. Like right here, see? It's kind of reminiscent of some of the corners that you might see suddenly at Spa. And it's especially difficult for these big front-engined Italian racing cars. I would think that it's a lot easier in terms of handling for the Coopers and for the Lotai. But in any case, they're driving, I'm not, so I will just report on what I see. I can speculate. If we get some interviews later, we'll be able to see whether I'm right or not about the speculations during the race. But anyway, you can see that off course there are trees here and there, hay bales definitely, so you definitely want to keep it on the island and not hit one of those. And it looks like John is doing a pretty good job of keeping the car on the island. Something that I would expect from him in his driving. A little bit of a rise there. But man, between those major corners for the circuit, and here he comes now to the start-finish line. That was one lap of the Angdiab's circuit. Ooh, he's managed to avoid one person there. Let me give you some information, though, going into the race. Because we're not going to have a start in the truest sense, we're not going to have a chance to go around and do a reconnaissance lap. I have to tell you what the starting order is going to be prior to that. So, before we get too far, I want to give you the starting order. On the pole for this race is Giovanni Centorami with a time of 2 minutes 27.833 seconds. Next down on the list is John Team. He's starting second for Scuderia Ferrari. Third is Tim Hilla, the champion for Scuderia Ferrari. Fourth, Gabriel Del Piccolo. Fifth, Juha Boss for Rob Walker Racing. Sixth, Peter Hlavich for Owen Racing Organization, otherwise known as BRM. Anders Nilsson starts seventh. And then it's David Saber, 8th, another BRM. 9th, another BRM, is Grant Riddall. 10th is Ray Riddall for Vandervelde Products Limited. 11th is Francisco Amaral for Cooper Car Company. 12th is Gabriel Sturr for Cooper Car Company. 13th, Mikael Drexler for Vandervelde Products Limited. 14th, Jakob Fredriksson for Joe Bonnier. 15th, Bruno Chacon for the Cooper Car Company. 16th, Francois Rimen for BRM. 17th, Dave Miller for Team Lotus. 18th, Ricardo Mendez for Scuderia Centro Sud. 19th, Simon Wattman, Team Lotus. 20th, Jonathan Asserklint for Scuderia Centro Sud. And starting 21st and last is Jules Bouchard, also Scuderia Centro Sud. So that is the lineup as it stands going into the race. And yes, Lacina did an amazing job with the track. He came up with the camera angles that you're seeing as well, which are very nice. And we'll be seeing a lot of these during the race. So thank you very much to Lacina for his help behind the scenes. He's very helpful, especially with the tracks and with the cameras, so that we get the best view possible we can. Oh, and I'm going to take a second here to remind you of what's coming up soon. In fact, in 1 week. Coming up, it's the final jewel in our 500-mile Triple Crown for the Kart IndyCar Series, round 13 to 15. It's the Quaker State 500 from Pocono International Raceway, also known as the Tricky Triangle. I'm really looking forward to this one, if you couldn't tell already. Green flag for that one will start at 1900 CET. Remember, we're off of daylight savings time, and we start our 500 milers an hour earlier than we normally start a race because it's such a long distance. So really looking forward to that race on the Tricky Triangle. Always a compromise setup, a true driver's track. One that I look forward to every year. All right. So it appears we're just about out of time for the warm-up. I hope everybody's had a chance to see what their cars feel like on full fuel, so they'll be able to properly negotiate this circuit. Going back to the track map just for a minute to remind everyone of what is on the line here. 53 laps, about 403 kilometers, almost 404, around this 7.6 kilometer road circuit. So we're going to be clicking over to the race session here in a moment. Just to remind you, Giovanni Centorami on the pole, John Team second, Tim Hilla third, Gabriel Del Piccolo fourth, Juha Boss fifth, Peter Hlavich sixth, seventh, Anders Nilsson eighth, David Saber ninth, Grant Riddall, and 10th Ray Riddall. That's the top 10. As we are now going to the race session, it's a 2x2 grid, not the 3x3 that we, or 3x2x3 that we've seen in other races. And Giovanni was showing excellent speed in practice prior to this, so this is no real surprise that he took the pole position. For those of us who've been watching the race or watching the practice times over the last few days. All right, so we're waiting for the game to catch up here. Eventually the cars will appear on grid, and then we'll be ready for the start. Tense moments here always. Even if you've done a lot of races around this circuit, it's really hard, or a circuit, any circuit. It's really hard to calm your nerves, get just ready to go, put your mind in the right place. And here we are. The cars are now on the grid. There's second place cars, so now we're ready to watch the start of the Moroccan Grand Prix. Everybody, stand by. And the race is underway! Excellent getaway by Centurami. But look out here, he's got other cars coming right up to him. We'll see what happens here once they get down to the first turn. Centurami retains the lead as he heads into the first turn. Very good start. John Team appears to be in second. Everyone appears to be getting away okay, no major problems. But look at how close John Team is to Centurami. He looks like he's going to pull off a pass here. Nope, not going to happen. Centurami retains the lead. And that Van Wall. Oh, very nice line going through the corner there. Look back from his car. Yes, John Team in second place. Tim Hilla in third. Juha Boss is in fourth. Fifth is Peter Hlavich. Sixth still Piccolo. And then there's an excellent scrap between David Saber and I believe that's Grant Riddall. Yes, for seventh place. That's excellent. Looking further back, here is Anders Nilsson and Ray Riddall real close together with Jakob Fredriksson right behind them. So there's already lots of action going on here. Uh-oh, there's a little bit of dust up there. That's going to be happening a lot here as cars run off the road. Whoa, a couple of cars running off the road. It looks like Fredriksson will take advantage. Yes, Fredriksson moves up to 11th place. Anders Nilsson just ahead of him now. But those heavy cars with the skinny tires is going to be hard to keep them on the island, but we'll see how everyone does. And John Team has gone into the lead. Centurami has dropped to fourth place. Not sure how that happened, but it apparently he had some kind of a coming together or some kind of a bobble, and that was enough for three cars to spring past. Everybody seems to be doing okay here in the first few laps. No bent cars, it looks like. Ray Riddall. Dave Miller in 13th. Francisco Amaral 14th. 15th is Bruno Chacon. 16th, Francois Remen. 17th, Ricardo Mendez. 18th, Mikael Drexler. 19th, Simon Wattman. And then 20th, Jonathan Asserklint. Let's have a look at our Swedish color commentators and sometimes main commentators' view. He's looking for a way around Drexler and Wattman and can't seem to find one. There he goes. Oh, whoa. Look out. Goodness. Now he's right alongside of Simon. And it appears he's going to take that position. Into the first turn again, so that's one lap. They're now into lap 2. Mendez off on the grass a little bit there. So you have Team and Hilla of Scuderia Ferrari in the lead, running 1-2. Boss third, Centurami fourth, Peter Hlavich in fifth, Gabriel Del Piccolo in 6th. Oh, and here's an excellent scrap between Gabriel Sturr and David Saber. This is for 8th place. And now we're right looking over the shoulder, over the head of Gabriel Sturr as he goes for the inside. Oh my goodness, oh no, oh man, look out. Oh my goodness, he almost gets into Anders Nilsson with that maneuver. still following David Saber. If we take one look back, there's Anders Nilsson. You can see these three just running right close together. Coming to another right-hander. Anders is looking for a way to get past these two. Theoretically, he's in a stronger car in terms of top speed. Here's Gabriel Sturr looking for a way by Saber, but just can't find the room. This is a very, very narrow circuit. You can see it's just public roads and just one lane both either way, so it's very hard to find some room here. You have to be... Oh my goodness! Sturr having his own ideas of where he wants to be, and they don't really gel with where Anders wants to be. And in the meantime, you can see that Anders is under attack from behind by another car. Right there, Fredriksson. Yellow flag out in this section. Not sure why. Somebody, oh, there's somebody into the barrier just there. You saw it briefly. So somebody is out of the race. It is Giovanni Sentarami. He's out of the race. Unbelievable. Okay, there's a... Okay, that's not the car that I was looking at earlier. This is a different one, but it appears that Giovanni... No, Giovanni is in the... Yes, this is the car that I was looking at. Giovanni, running alongside of Juha Boss, comes down to the first turn. This is after the start-finish area. Runs into the hay bales on the outside, and that's it. It's all she wrote, and the engine goes up too. So that's really a shame for Giovanni, because he was doing so well in practice, had great times, and he qualified on the pole. I can imagine how he feels right now. That's really too bad. So we only have one DNF so far out of the entire group, considering how dangerous this circuit was prophesied to be by a friend of mine. That I would think, you know, goodness, look at Tim Hill with the four-wheel drift through the corner. Excellent. Very nice. Very, very good. And his team, John Team. So, wait, no. So Tim Hill has actually assumed the lead. Tim Hill was in second, now has assumed the lead. They're both Ferraris. John Team is in second place. There's Juha in third. Peter Hlavic is now fourth. Look at the drifting these cars do through these corners. Del Piccolo is in fifth. Sixth is Grant Riddall, BRM. Seventh is Jakob Fredriksson after that pass. Anders Nilsson is down to eighth. And there's Sturr, who I'm sure is still interested in getting by these two. Here we are looking over his shoulder. And he isn't a Cooper, of course, so he probably has very good handling characteristics compared to the cars in front of him. But we'll see what happens. See, look at how they stretch out the lead there on the start-finish straight. It appears that Anders wants to overtake Fredriksson, and he says, "No, sir, I'm not going to allow that." As they go into the first turn here. This was where Sentarami had his... Oh, and you can see there how if you miscalculate... Oh, and look, he overcooked it, and there goes Anders Nilsson right by. Jakob Fredriksson drops to 8th place. Anders Nilsson now is 7th. But you can see how if you just overcook things a little bit there, and he ran a little bit wide, lost some momentum, it was just enough to give Anders the opening so that he could get by. Things are pretty spread out towards the front here, with Tim Hill is still leading, John Team in second place, third for Juha, fourth Peter Hlavic, fifth Del Piccolo. They're all really spread out. Grant Riddall. The real action is back here between these two cars here. The number 40 of Anders Nilsson and the number 11 of Fredriksson, 7th and 8th respectively. Yeah, these camera angles are excellent, Martin. Excellent job. Oh! They both actually run off the course. You got to be really careful there. So the positions stay the same, but Nilsson and Fredriksson both running off the course at the exact same point. So they have to be very careful. Here we are looking from Fredriksson to Nilsson. And I imagine that this is going to be a lot of drivers taking care of business as best they can while taking advantage of other people's problems on this circuit because it's so narrow. There are overtaking opportunities, but you have to be really willing to let things hang out. You got to, try to outbrake somebody. And these cars don't like to be brought to a halt too suddenly. Ray Riddall is another car out of the race, so we have 2 DNFs so far, I believe. Now we're on to the pit straight once again. Downshifting, heading for this very tight first turn. And I can't see anybody in Jakob's mirror, but you can see there Anders goes off the track for a moment. This guy's got to be very, very careful. There's literally no margin for error here. If you go on the dust and you can't get much grip there, but look at this. Anders didn't have a very good exit there from that corner. Look how much Jakob is catching him now. Other right-hander here. And these are pretty flat corners. You're not getting much help from inclination of the track or anything, or banking. Pretty even now at this point. Let's look a little further down the field, see if we see anything. Oh, here's a nice battle going on between Saber and Chacon. This is for 11th place. And Dave Miller is also not too far away. Looking back from Bruno Chacon's kart, David Saber. He's able to stretch out here a little bit, even though David Saber theoretically has got the more powerful car. Yeah. Although, wait a minute, this is actually, I apologize, this is not a pass for position. Saber is in 17th place, 2 laps down, so he made a some kind of a pit visit before this group got together. So really there isn't a scrap going on between those two. It is, in fact, Miller who is trying to overtake Saber here. Uh-oh, there's a yellow flag in this vicinity. Don't see why quite there is. Oh, Francisco Amaral is in the ditch there. Francisco Amaral. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he ran off the course and into the hay bales. Well, there you go. That'll end your race right quick. It's too bad. So another retirement. Cooper Car Company and the engine lets go for a good measure. Francisco Amaral is out of the race. That gives us 3 DNFs. How's Sturr doing in his... Oh, he is actually... Oh, whoa, look at that! Fredriksson has run off into the that patch of trees there. Let's see what happened here. This is a replay of what happened. Fredriksson probably overcooked it. Yeah, he's braking way too late for this. Look at it. The car just goes straight on down the road, and he has to turn around in the trees, and that allows Gabriel Sturr to get by him. So Fredriksson down to 9th now. Hopefully he didn't over-rev the engine too bad in his car. But now he's got to try to catch up all the way to... He was in a battle there for a second with Anders Nilsson, but now he's not only lost that place, from that battle he's gone back, now he's lost the place to Gabriel Sturr, so he has to get that back. Sturr in 8th place, Nilsson 7th. Grant is in 6th. Gabriel Del Piccolo doing a big four-wheel drift is in 5th place. 4th is Juha Boss. Peter Hlavic is now in 3rd. So at some point, Hlavic got ahead of Juha, is now in 3rd place. He's doing excellent in that BRM. Yeah, in theory, Hlavic has the better car suited for this circuit because of its long sections. You can really stretch it out with the engine sound. Listen to that BRM. That's the look backwards from Peter Hlavic at Juha Boss. Juha's car, I'm sure, handles much better through the twisty sections, but on the long sections that require speed, the front-engine 12-cylinder cars, I'm sure, are going to do fantastic. And Juha's got a car closing on him here. It is Del Piccolo, so battle might shape up there at some point. We'll see. Hlavic showing really nice car control here. This is one of the more interesting points in Formula One history when you think about it, where rear-engine cars and front-engine cars do battle. There's always pros and cons. Indianapolis was going to... Oh, Grant Riddall out of the race. See what happened here. Oh, he's against a barrier. Now let's see, how did this happen? Oh, that's too bad. And this is a BRM. Same kind of car that Hlavic is driving. See what happens here. He's downshifting for this corner. Goes in, he brakes. Oh, the car just goes straight on. Yeah, these cars don't like to brake when they're going in a turn. They only like to brake in a straight line. At least that's what I've found. So that's really too bad for Grant. He's out of the race. Actually, now that we look in here, there's somebody else in it. Francois Remin is in the pits receiving service. Apparently some kind of contact. And he's getting some help. Yeah, he's still there. This is real time, so he's definitely got more than a few things that he has to do to the car, or his crew, for that matter. So it's status quo up front. Tim Hiller leading, with Jonathan Heen in 2nd place. There is holding station. Hlavic in 3rd place. See how he brakes for this corner. Good, very controlled, very well done. Excellent. Leads the front end into there, and just a little bit of a slide, but very, very well controlled. It's going to be interesting to see if Boss can catch up to him at some point here. But the Ferraris are just like, it's business as usual up front. Hilla and John Team. Of course, Hilla already wrapped up the championship for himself, and Ferrari are the Constructors' champions, so there's no championship title to be decided in this race. It's just bragging rights at this point. Well, there's also for the people who are 2nd and 3rd in points want to make up some room there. But as it stands right now, championship's pretty much decided. Hilla does an excellent job. Oh, look out, look out. Hilla runs off into the gravel a little bit, and that's going to let John Team catch right up. Could we see a change for the lead here? It looks like we might. I don't know if there are team orders at Ferrari, but that's just the error that John Team was waiting for. But it looks like Hilla has caught things up pretty well, and he's not frazzled at all by that. That's the other thing about these cars. It's very easy when you make a mistake to make subsequent mistakes and just compound your bad situation. But Hilla didn't let that get him rattled. He just got back in the circuit and kept going. There's Lavich. Boss. Uh-oh. Looks like Boss is having some kind of a problem. He's kind of crabbing there a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on. He's pulling off the road. So apparently he's had some kind of a run-in. Yeah, here it is. He ran into the bales, the hay bales, and okay. It looks like the hay bales do move. We've established that, but they're probably still not something you want to run into. So here's Juha going into this turn. The back end just steps out way too much, and he hits the hay bales. And apparently they did enough damage that he decided, you know what, I don't want to continue. So he pulls off right here. Well, that's unfortunate. It appears that Juha's out of the race. Well, wait a minute. What's he do? He's not physically... He's taking us for a ride in the countryside, it appears. No, he's... Okay, he hasn't retired from the race, but it appears that he's trying to get back to the pits at least. But definitely when we joined him initially, it looked as if his car was not in a good situation. At any rate, here he is. Yes, he's in the pits. Actually, we have several people in the pits here. Who do we have here? We have Johnny Aces, Juha Boss, and Ricardo Mendez all in the pits. What you do not see, they are ghosts, apparently, working on the cars. Sorry, it's a little late for that, being Halloween and all. But these are three people that obviously are repairing the cars because it just makes more sense to fix them to go along with it. Now Johnny Aces leaves his spot. Ricardo Mendez fires up and leaves his stall. Juha's only been there for a little bit, so I'm guessing it's going to take a while longer. Oh, Bruno Chacon having a little bit of a off-course excursion. You can see the dirt accumulated on his tires. That'll work its way off the more he drives on the pavement. Yeah, it looks like Bruno's okay. He just got a little off course there. All right, now look at this. Fredrickson. This looks really good. Right with Gabriel Sturr. This should be really fun to watch. Fredrickson runs off onto the gravel a little bit as they head into this next right-hander. Now Sturr is driving a car that's rear engine. Should handle well in the twisty bits, but not as powerful, I would imagine, as Fredrickson's car. And Fredrickson looking for the right place. And as I've mentioned, this is a very narrow circuit. So finding the place to get by, you can have the pace to get by, but finding the room to do it is another matter altogether. This is the same place where Juha went off earlier. Tim Hilla still leads, John Team in second, Peter Hlavic in third, Nilsson fourth, Gabriel Sturr in fifth, and Fredrickson in sixth. We're watching that battle right now. And Fredrickson looks like he's about ready to try something here. He pulls out to the outside of this turn. We're on the main straight now. And he pulls by just on sheer horsepower. Fantastic. Fredrickson up to fifth place. He's in the top five. Now he's braking for this corner. Be careful. Be careful. Don't run off. Oh, my goodness. It happened again. Fredrickson goes for a ride in the trees again. And gives the position right back to Sturr. Fredrickson back to sixth place. Let's take a look at a replay of this, because I want to see what's actually happening here. He goes to brake. The car doesn't want to go to the right. It wants to go straight, and so he thinks the best thing to do is to just go off the track, try again another time, and get back on. But man, these are finicky cars to drive. Oh, wait! There is Stur. Stur's now gone off the track, so he gives the position right back to Fredrickson. Let's see a replay of this instance. Stur braking for the corner, and his car will go straight on, and he impacts one of the barriers. Now he's able to get going. The question is, does Gabriel have any damage? I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on him and see. If his car is doing any strange movements while he's driving, that would be the clue. See, taking advantage of other people's problems is what this race is about if you want to overtake. That's apparently how it's going to play out. But Fredrickson now firmly in 5th place and 6th for Stur. Stur looks like his car's okay. He doesn't look like he has any serious problems. He just lost a lot of time. Nilsson in 4th place. Oh my goodness, look at how close his left rear tire comes to the gravel there. Hlavic with a great drive continuing in 3rd place. Fantastic as he comes to the start-finish area. Now, it looks like there was an incident here not long ago. Something might have happened there. Let's see. Because there's hay bales out of step here. Let me see here if we can catch what happened. Yeah, and there's a rolling tire. So something happened here. Yeah, there it is, right there. Somebody... Oh my goodness. So there was a huge accident there. I'm going to fixate on who that is. Give me one moment. All right, so here we go. Well, here's Fredrickson. Fredrickson runs off the track a bit again, but I want to see what's going on at that spot right there. It's John Team. Oh my goodness. Here's John Team. John Team spins out. Del Piccolo is out. Unbelievable. So I don't know what happened there. It was a bunch of people go. Oh, he's been disqualified. It appears, but there's all kinds of there was all kinds of stuff that was going on at that. That was going on at that point, and a bunch of cars just came together. So no, Team is in the lead now. It's Hilla that was out. Hilla. Unbelievable. It's like a big giant grouping of red cars there. So Hilla is out. Boss is also out at this point. I guess he figured that the repairs were too much to deal with. And Hlavic just overtook the lead there. So Hlavic goes into the lead, passes John Team. Let's take a look at a replay of that. He goes around the outside, Peter Hlavic does, and takes the lead. And John Team has got Michael Drexler in front of him now. Oh, and because of that, this is probably related to that problem. Team is coming in for some kind of service to fix the car. But, uh-oh. Yeah, that looks like, I hope that was just tire smoke and not engine smoke. But John Team is now in the pits. He's in 3rd. He's probably going to be dropping down the order fairly quickly. Fredrickson coming up. Yeah, Fredrickson's going to easily overtake to go into 3rd place. And there it is. Fredrickson up into 3rd place now. Next car in line is going to be Stur, and Stur is going to go up to 4th. So Team, in that 3-car accident that we saw at the head of the pits, definitely has a lot of repair work ahead of him if he's going to continue this Moroccan Grand Prix. But in the meantime, our new leader is Peter Hlavic, who's taken advantage again of other people's problems. driving the BRM, showing excellent pace. Nilsson in second. So we'll have to watch the times here and see what happens here. Nilsson has a car in between himself and the leader, Drexler, I believe. Or no, wait. Let's see. No, it's Simon Watman. He's got Simon Watman between himself and the leader. So we'll have to watch very carefully to see if the gap now is about 15 seconds. I'm sure that Simon's not going to make any trouble for Anders. Probably going to let him by right here. Yes, he does. So 15.384 seconds is the gap to the lead. Third place is Fredriksson after those numerous battles with Gabriel Sturr. Tim Hille, it's just too bad that he has to finish the championship on that note, but he did have it wrapped up, so there's no danger to him in any case. So Sturr is in fourth after the battles that he had with Fredriksson. Bruno Chacon is in fifth. And he's got Dave Miller in sixth place there, closing in on him. Well, we thought this would be a high attrition race, and it's turning out to be just that. This will be an interesting scrap here if it turns out to be one, because Miller is in a Lotus, and Chacon, I believe, is in a Cooper. So it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, Miller is closing very quickly here on Chacon. This will be a battle for fifth place. Chacon seems to do well in these cars, anything vintage. I remember, I've mentioned this before, but in another series, in another league that we were in for a while, we did a 1937 Grand Prix series race at Bremgarten. And at the end of the day, so many cars out of the race, Chacon went on to finish in third place, podium finish for him. So it was, he has a way of driving smoothly when he needs to and babying a car. And if it's a series that needs, if there's a series that needs that kind of driving, sometimes it's this one for sure. They're starting another lap here. Going to be the 13th lap that they're starting. Looking at fifth place between Chacon and Dave Miller as they come down to this one turn that's caused so much trouble for a lot of drivers. They pull in. Both of them do a good job. Stay out of the kitty litter or the gravel or just the dust on the side of the road. And off they go. Sturr doesn't seem to have any damage from those incidences that happened earlier. And now we're looking at the retirees, but Nilsson ahead of Simon Watman. There's Fredriksson in third, Sturr in fourth, Chacon fifth. This really hasn't developed into a battle quite yet. Simon Watman's in seventh. Eighth is John Team. He's left the pits and has been repaired. It didn't take as long as we thought. Hille is out of the race. Drexler is continuing here. He's completed 9 laps. And then Remen is 11th. Here's Jonathan Asserklint in 12th place, driving for Scuderia Centro Sud. And that's the last car running, actually. I'm not sure how Del Piccolo was disqualified. It must have had something to do with how he was placed in the pits or the direction he took or whatever. We'll have to take another look at that at some point. Well, we won't be able to take a look at it. If he ends up coming on in the green room chat, maybe we can talk to him about it. But in any case, Asserklint is the last car running, and then we're into the retirements. Chacon seems to be holding his own against Dave Miller here. There doesn't seem to be any closure rate there. That surprises me because Miller is excellent in these cars. But then again, Chacon is very fast in these cars as well. He was driving circles around me when we raced, I think it was 2 races ago in this series. I was lucky to be on the same lap with him, frankly. Starting another lap, lap 14. Yeah, this one looks like it's pretty cemented for the moment. Yeah, Nilsson in second place, Peter Hlavich. And there's a 31-second gap now between Peter Hlavich and Anders Nilsson, so I don't think that's going to be going down anytime soon. 14 seconds between Fredriksson and Nilsson, and only 5 seconds between Fredriksson and Sturr. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it was 5. I'm sorry. There was 5 seconds between Fredriksson. There's 5 seconds between Sturr and Fredriksson, so maybe that'll develop into something. There's only 2.7 seconds between Miller and Chacon. Here's Fredriksson putting a lap on Simon Wattman. So at this moment, looking at the leader here, there are only 6 cars on the lead lap. So the next target for Hlavich is Dave Miller, and he's in a pseudo battle between himself and Bruno Chacon. Here comes Nilsson through the start-finish area, well adrift of Hlavich. And here comes, 16 seconds back, Jakob Fredriksson. So if he wants to mount a charge, he's going to have to get on his horse. It's more likely that he'll have a battle with Sturr, who is within sight of him. And we've seen that Fredriksson does not like turn 1 very much. So here's Sturr, who had battles with him previously. You can just see Fredriksson just out of the picture. And Wattman is now the lap car in between. Chacon, Miller. Yeah, and here's Sturr about to lap Simon Wattman, who's driving a Lotus. Yep. Simon not making any trouble. Lets him by easily. All right, so seeing as things have calmed down a bit, let's go to the trivia question. The first one, we have 2. Trivia question 1 is: who won the non-championship 1957 Moroccan Grand Prix? Is it Jean Barra, Juan Manuel Fangio, or Peter Collins? Okay, the time is up. Let's see if anyone guesses on the forum. I think Barry Lynn guessed B, Juan Manuel Fangio. If anyone else cares to throw their hat in the ring. Okay, nobody's Nobody's responding. Lucina says Collins, and I know that Barry Lynn earlier said Fangio. So unfortunately, no, correct answer, Jean Barra. There he is with his checkered band on his helmet. So that's the answer for trivia question 1. Trivia question 2, I'll give it while we have the second here. In the short history of the Moroccan Grand Prix, which constructor scored the most wins with 4? Is it A, Maserati, B, Bugatti, or C, Ferrari? Answer later on in the broadcast. So look at Chacon. He's pulled out a good distance here on Dave Miller. I'm surprised. I would have thought Dave would have been able to gobble up that distance and make a fight for us. Oh, wait. Now, Dave Miller did do it. We just didn't see it. Dave Miller is now in 5th place. So it appears that there was some kind of incident that Bruno had, but now Miller is up to 5th. I knew something would happen when we started the... That's how you get things to happen in a Grand Prix, I guess. You go to a feature or something, and then then the thing happens while you're going through that. So that puts Dave in the points in 5th. Gabriel is in 4th. Fredrickson in 3rd. Oh, and look at this. Yeah, they are pretty close here, Nilsson and Fredrickson. So we could see a battle here, potentially. Or wait. No, that's another car. Shoot. I was looking at a lapped car. Who is that? It's Jonathan Asserglund, yeah. So they're not actually in contact at the moment. Yeah, here comes Fredrickson now to the start-finish area. There is Sturr. You can still see him, but he's going to need, I think, a mistake or a miscue from Fredrickson in order to see, there he is, just to make up that distance. Matthews asking, what happened? Why are there so many retirements? Well, there was a 3-car collision at the head of the pit lane that involved Tim Hilla and also involved Jean Team. So it basically took the Ferraris out of contention. One of them out of the race, one of them severely damaged, and that allowed Peter Hlavich to assume the lead. He skated around Nilsson. So that's where we're at right now. Hlavich having a fantastic drive. He's 31 seconds ahead of Nilsson, so it's about the same as it was previously. And Nilsson, 25 seconds back is Fredrickson. And only 2.4 seconds back from Fredrickson is Sturr. So Sturr is probably hoping that Fredrickson has another off-course excursion. He's had a few in this race. Not impossible for him to have another. Eventually, tires will be... Oh, whoa. See, right there. That's the kind of thing that Sturr is waiting for. Waiting for some kind of misstep by Fredrickson. And that might lead to a battle for us to watch, or perhaps a position change. Yeah, I don't think Sturr is going to catch Fredrickson on sheer speed. I think it's going to have to be a mistake on Fredrickson's part. It's going to get him in contact with Fredrickson. Riding on board with Fredriksson right now. See how his car is handling. It's pretty good right here. But this is a pretty calm part of the circuit. Over a little rise there. Through the start-finish area now, starting lap 18. We're coming close to the halfway point, which would be lap number about 26 and a half. But Fredriksson's just got to keep cool and not make any funny mistakes. You can see how low the revs get as he comes through this section. Oh, ran off the... Oh, he's running off the curb, off the track again. Ah! But it's going to take more than that for Stur to catch him. So Fredriksson's only having the occasional off here and there around the circuit. There goes Stur in a Cooper. Now watching from Stur's car as he follows Jakob Fredriksson. What his car lacks in straight line speed, it gains in turns, turn accuracy and precision and handling. Yeah, the turns you can see are much less of a problem for him. A lot less, and you can see the clouds of dust being kicked up by Fredriksson just in front of him. So not only does he have to deal with the course, he has to deal with the occasional dust clouds that a car might kick up, in this case Fredriksson. And there's a yellow flag here. What happened? Something went wrong here. There's a car on... All right, let's see that again. There's a car off the circuit there. It is Jonathan Esserklint. Oh, no. Let's see what happened here. Oh, too bad, Jonathan. Scuderia Centro Sud joined the team only a few days before the start. Obviously hasn't had as much track time as everybody else. All right, we're getting to the crux of what happened here. I think this is kind of the same thing happened to some other people around here. Here's Jonathan coming into this right-hand bend, and the car just understeers out into the hay bales. Shoot. All right, so he does still have a car that's under power, so he's trying to get back onto the circuit now without spinning it again. Watch out for those trees, Jonathan. Oh, good. And Jonathan rejoins, good. And it appears that he's in the pits right now. Flash forward to present time, and there he is in the pits getting repairs. So Jonathan's lost several laps now. It's basically he's driving for, you're hoping that other retirements occur, which will bring him up the order. Speaking of people who've been in the pits a few times, here's Remen. He's in 10th. 9th for Drexler. 8th for John Team. This is after the spectacular accident that occurred at the head of the pits. So the team is still running in 8th place despite that. So if more things happen up the field, we could see him finish in the points potentially. It's unlikely, but we'll see what happens. Simon doing excellent here in his Lotus in 7th place. A blue flag being shown to him, so he's being lapped. By who? I'm not sure. It's Dave Miller, his Lotus teammate. So he's going to make room there. There he goes. So Miller, 7th place. 6th, Bruno Chacon doing an excellent job. Fifth is Dave Miller. There, just we saw him a second ago, passing Wattman. Now we're looking at it from his point of view. Fredrickson is in the pits. Why is this happening? Fredrickson has had an accident. No! All right, we're going to have to rewind this and see what happened, but it appears that he went off. There's more than one car involved here. Oh, Fredrickson was having such a good race, too. Unbelievable. All right, so let's see what happens here. Fredrickson, he runs off the track. What happens here? I don't know, he just... Oh, the engine lets go at the same time. I don't know which came first, chicken or the egg. Did the engine let go first, or did the... or did the accident led to the engine letting go? Who knows? But he's out, and then if we look off to the right, after he's been off, there should be a car that appears. Well, in any case, Sturr is also out of the race. But Fredrickson, is Fredrickson in the pits, or what's going on here? Fredrickson is in the pits, but he hasn't gotten out of the car. He's technically retired, but Sturr, for some reason, was involved in that incident. All right, here we go. Hay bale caused the engine to let go. That's what Fredrickson is saying. So that answers that question. Accident first, engine after. Okay. And unfortunately, Sturr... Well, wait, now we're showing... yeah, we're showing both of them. Fredrickson and Sturr as both DNFs out of the race. So at that elevate... Oh, no! We just witnessed a collision that Bruno Chacon had with a hay bale. He doesn't want to do that too often. But he is now in fourth place. Plavich out of the race! How did this happen? I'm rewinding here to see if I can find out what happened to Plavich. Unbelievable. Everything seems calm, and then all of a sudden, it's just a free-for-all all of a sudden. Well, for whatever reason, Peter Plavich out of the race. I'm going to keep rewinding here, because we got to find out why this happened. Oh, Jakob solves the mystery of Gabriel for us and says that he hit the same hay bale. So that's why, but I have no idea why our leader, Peter Plavich, is out of the race. It's incredible. Okay, here we go. Here's the answer. Finally. Oops, sorry. Yep, sorry about that. I don't know why. All right, I've almost got it. Hang on one second. Okay, we're looking at Plavich now, and then all of a sudden, he's in the garage. So, I don't know if that's some kind of a... I have no clue if that is some kind of a disco, but he was coming along there, and all of a sudden, disappears. So now Anders Nilsson is in the lead. Hopefully he's looking after his motor. Miller in a Lotus is in second place. Chacon is in third. Here he's overtaking Simon Watman, I believe. But there's a question mark over his car because he might have damaged it in some way when he hit that hay bale. We'll see what happens. Hlavic is still fourth, but he's going to be falling down the list. John Team is in fifth. Now, he had to come in pits and get repairs, and now all of a sudden finds himself in the last points-paying position. So there you go. There's a reason to not give up. Simon Watman is in sixth. Seventh is Sturr. Eighth, Fredrickson, both out of the race. Ninth is Drexler. 10th, Remen. And 11th, Jonathan Esserclinton. They're all going to come up the standings as the three DNFs move down the order. It's a pretty amazing team now running fourth as he passes Hlavic on the track as far as amount of distance covered. Bruno in third place, Miller in second, and Nilsson first. So cars are all spread out again. Drexler. There's Remen. These cars are all pretty much on their own lap at this point. Yeah, 3 laps from Remen and 4 from Drexler. My goodness. Well, Miller's got to be really happy. I mean, it's not often that we see a Lotus up in second place, but this worked out that way, given the accidents and everything that's been going on. Oh, here we go. Here's the answer for us on Peter Hlavic says what happened. I was lapping Francois on the same place as where Jakob crashed out. Francois made a little mistake. I had to take an unusual line through the right-hander and crashed out. So that's unfortunately what happened to Peter. So there you have it. That's the reason why Peter, who led the race for a good chunk, is now out of the race. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Dave has spun out for a little bit here. It looks like he's going to be able to get back on the track. Let's look at that in a replay from his point of view. Looks like he just got out of shape a little bit, and that was enough to go into a little bit of a lazy slide right there. But luckily for him, there were no hay bales nearby, and he was able to right the car and get back going again. Good recovery. Very well done. Nilsson looks like he's in good shape. Team is a pretty long distance back from Bruno Chacon, and that's owing, of course, to his stop that he had to make for repairs. This is Simon being overtaken by Remen. That's not a pass for position. That gives you an idea of the difference in horsepower between a BRM and a Lotus. Peter Hlavich further says, he had a comfortable lead, the car was great, no issues at all. Crashing out of P1 is not nice, I'm paraphrasing, but I never thought I'd finish the race anyway. So, he's being philosophical about it. So yeah, all of these cars, Francois Remen and John de Nasserclinth, they're going to advance up the order here. They'll be laps behind, but they'll still finish ahead. And I don't believe there's a percentage rule in this series either. Juha will have to correct me on that. But I don't believe that there's a percentage rule there. It says that you're classified after a certain percentage of the race completed. Looking now at the distance between Miller and Chacon. All right, so here we are at the start-finish line. Here is Miller coming across. And there's Chacon. So Chacon is trying to hunt down Dave Miller, and there's now a massive gap between these cars and John Team. But in any case, here is Bruno Chacon, and his gap to Miller at this point is 3.8 seconds. So I mean that's a wafer-thin margin compared to some of the other margins on track right now. No! Bruno goes off the track. Now he's going to have more space to make up. Hopefully he didn't damage the car with that. Let's look at a replay. Going under the Martini Bridge. Oh, man. Yeah, and there's actual contact with hay bales there, so my concern is that there's damage there. Oh, man. Bruno continues on, but that's obviously lost him a lot of time to Miller. Yep, Miller all by himself. So is our leader. But I believe he's got somebody to lap here. Anders Nilsson. So going back to the notes regarding the Drivers' Championship, you know, what's left of it. In Drivers' Points, Anders can only take second from Juha if he wins and scores fastest lap. And Juha doesn't score fastest lap and finishes lower than fifth. Well, he's on course to do that right now, but he has to secure the fastest lap. I don't know if he's done that. We'll have to take a look at the telemetry and see who has scored the fastest lap, because in this series, fastest lap gives you 1 point. Anders didn't have any trouble there with that lapping maneuver. Here's Dave Miller braking for the first turn. We're at half distance at this point. And here comes Bruno Chacon, his nearest pursuer. So this is the closest battle on the course right now, even though it's an 8-second gap. Just to give you an idea of the space for this battle. This is gonna hit the pause on the panning at one point here, and you'll see the difference between Dave Miller and Chacon. Okay, there's Dave Miller, and now here comes Chacon. So it's about an 8-second interval. It would have been a lot closer, but for that incident that Chacon had back a few minutes ago. Oh, off the track again briefly, but keeps it pointed the right way. I'm really surprised that Chacon is keeping that gap at about, well, the gap is now 10 seconds. So he might be having to fight a car that has damage to some degree. There's team in 4th place. 5th is Wattman, all by himself. Drexler in 6th, Remen in 7th. 8th still is Slavich, and then 9th is Sturr. They're both out of the race. Fredericks in 10th. So Asserklint basically has to complete several laps here before he's in 8th place. Right now he's shown on the scoreboard in 11th place. But he needs to keep soldiering on here, and eventually he will go up the leaderboard. Looks like he's got somebody in front of him here. On board now with Jonathan. Kudos to him for soldiering on, even though he's laps down. Knows that he's going to move up the order slowly here as more people ahead of him he completes laps. Here he is through the start-finish area. Let's go for a lap here with Jonathan. Give him some TV time. Here's this treacherous first corner that's been causing a lot of people issues. And Jonathan's team apparently did a great job repairing his car because he is through there with no problem whatsoever. And blue flag shown to Jonathan, so he has to let somebody by here. I'm not sure who it is. It sounds like a BRM. No, actually, it's the leader, Nilsson. Okay. So he's going to have to find an opportune place to let him by, which is not here. Probably along this straight is where Jonathan will let him by. Just accelerate a little slower than the lapping car and let him by. And that's exactly what he's doing. There goes our leader, Nilsson, past Jonathan Asserklint, Johnny Aces. All right. Oof. Comes close to those hay bales. Yeah. So he goes off the track a little bit here and there, but nothing that'll cause him to spin. So Jonathan seems to be traversing this course pretty well. So he's up to 9th now, according to the timing and scoring, so eventually he will be ahead of Peter Hlavich, and he'll be 8th, but that'll probably take another few laps. And here's the start-finish area. So that was one complete lap with Jonathan. Scuderia Centro Sud. Oh, and Drexler's out of the race. Oh, goodness. What happened? Unbelievable. Oh, here we go. Drexler against a group of hay bales. Never a good situation. Let's see what happened here. He runs, oh, just a little too wide and runs right square into the hay bales. The car just... There's maybe more to this story, actually. He may have been making room for another car. Yeah, he might have been making room for John Team there, who was lapping him, and he made a bit too much room and just ran straight into the barrier. Ugh. See, I hate when that happens. You're trying to be helpful, you're trying to be a courteous driver and let the leader or whoever's a lap ahead of you through, and you make a little too much room, and it costs you big time, inadvertently. So... nobody's fault. It just happens that way. That's really unfortunate. So Drexler out of the race. That means more places for these guys. Jonathan and Remen is now in 6th place. Drexler falling down the order. Jonathan is eventually going to be in the position that he always is in. It seems 7th place. That's a running joke for those of you who don't get it. Jonathan always seems to finish in 7th place. In a regular... what happened? Oh, no! Let me see. Oh, no, that was just the replay. My apologies. That was just the replay. Jonathan's on the track. He's okay. It was just a bit of a ping issue. This mod is rather polygon heavy. And I think part of the reason why it's been running as well as it has up till this point is because the track is relatively simple. There are not a lot of buildings. There's not a lot of polygon-heavy things on the track itself. So the race has been running pretty smoothly. There have been other tracks that we've run with this 1958 mod, and we get staccato vision for the first few laps because the cars are so close together. Didn't have that this time. I think it's probably because the track is a little bit on the leaner side, which is nice. So Jonathan is going to end up moving up 7th place, as I said. Remen is in 6th. 5th is Simon Watman. 4th, John Team, who played a small role in, well, not really a role, but he was there to see Drexler's demise. Chacon in 3rd place, and I'm surprised. He's doing really well, considering the fact that he has had several offs and incidents with bales. One thing that we have to keep in mind is that hay bales or contact with them could cause the engine to fail if enough times you do it, so we'll have to keep that in mind as we get closer to the end of the race. But we're not there yet. We're just a little bit over halfway, so we've got a ways to go. And then here's Miller. The gap is 10 seconds. So it hasn't really changed too much, and the leader continues to be Anders Nilsson. So this proves that if you stick it out, you just keep running. In these races in particular, this 58 series, you might just score points. You might be, who knows where you might end up if you just stick it out and keep going. Nilsson was running good from the start. He had a really good qualifying position and did fairly well in the opening laps. He just basically inherited the lead after Vlahovic had his issues. Wanted to remind all of you also of what's coming up at ISO. Our season is coming to a close, but we still have a few more excellent events to run, and this is probably one of the bigger ones. It is the third jewel in the 500-mile Triple Crown for the Championship Auto Racing Team's 1987 championship. It is the Quaker State 500 from Pocono International Raceway, also known as the Tricky Triangle. This will be next Sunday. It's the 13th round out of 15 races, but it is a big one. Sunday, November 13th, the green flag will fly at 1900 CET, raw for daylight savings time, and we're starting an hour earlier because it's a 500-mile race. There are still cars available. And much like is the case in this race we're watching, in 500 milers, sometimes slow and steady does pretty good, and you can move up the order as other people have issues. But that is the what is going to be on the docket for next Sunday. 200 laps, 500 miles at the very unique Pocono International Raceway. So I think Jonathan will be covering this if you're not actually involved in the race, so actually please tune in. It should be a very exciting race. Hopefully not too many barbecues. All right, now this is interesting. Bruno is going to be lapped by the leader, Anders Nilsson. Blue flags being shown to Chacon at this point. And it looks like he's going to let Nilsson by. There he goes. Well done. So there you go. There's only 2 cars on the lead lap now. It's Miller and Nilsson. Actually, the distance between Chacon and Miller has dropped a little bit. It was 10 seconds and change. It's now 9 seconds or so. So, see if Chacon is able to reel in Miller, possibly. And it is continuing to drop every little by little. It's now down to almost 9 seconds. 9.199. So we'll see if he can pick up any distance on Miller as the race continues here. And John Team must be hardly believing his luck after what happened at the pit entrance. With all the repairs he had to do, he finds himself in 4th place. It's pretty amazing. So it's not all bad news for Ferrari. And Wattman, excellent run for him. He finished pretty good last time out in the IndyCar series. At Nazareth, he finished 11th, driving a one-off drive. I think he was in one of those 1985 marches. Not the most state-of-the-art equipment, but he still managed to come up with a decent finish and a points finish in kart. And here he is running 5th for Lotus in this race. Very good. Remen. He's actually 1 lap behind Simon, so he's going to have to pass him twice if he wants to get into the top 5. or somebody's going to have a calamity in order for him to advance. But he's in a BRM, which we used to have a BRM leading the race. That engine just makes just a shriek of a sound. And he's catching somebody hand over fist here. Who is this? It is Bruno. So he's actually running faster than the cars that are laps ahead of him at this point. So this is probably a situation he's going to run into a lot. He's going to be running up the cars that are laps ahead of him and then overtaking them. Now you might suggest to yourself, why doesn't he just slow up? Because he's, even if he overtakes him, he's still got many laps to overtake. Well, there's still a distance to go. Who knows? Who knows what's going to transpire? And this is a rather awkward situation because Chacon is, ahead of him by laps, and but Remen is the faster car on the track. He's probably, hopefully he'll have the. Oh my goodness! No! 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 Is that who I thought it was? It was Chacon, who has had an incident against the wall. Replay. Let's see what happened here. Our tires, he got into the gravel and bang against the wall. That's not good at all. It was all because he just ran under the gravel there for a bit. It's really unfortunate. Now there's a big question mark over that car. There already was, at least in my mind, as to how it was handling. Now he's had hard contact, not with a hay bale, but with the wall itself. That car just keeps rolling. I don't get it. I mean, he's had hard and he seems to be, the handling seems to be okay. It was a grazing hit with the wall, but still, that's a solid brick wall. I'll have to keep a close eye on him. He seems to be okay now, but that definitely cost him some time. He is now 33 seconds behind Dave Miller. So there goes that potential battle. And team is a lap in front of Simon Wattman, 24 seconds behind Chacon. Well, now 16. Okay, now he's 16 seconds behind Chacon. So there's a chance that he might be able to slice into that, especially if Bruno has any more incidents like that. The car cannot be a perfect car anymore. It's got to have some kind of damage to it at this point. So John, I know he's too far back to have seen what's happened, but he can look up and look at he can see the intervals just as well as we can from his car. And so if he sees that the interval is dropped down to 16 seconds, so that will galvanize him and make him think, ooh, if I push a little bit harder, I might have a podium before this race is over. Now it's down to 11 seconds. So Chacon definitely, I think, is hampered by that problem that he just had. It was not just a hit of a hay bale, it was a brick wall. So, and John didn't see it happen, but he can see the numbers. So he knows that Chacon is in some kind of difficulty. And so if he pushes hard, he might be able to get him before the race is over. I think very definitely he can, because it's only lap 31 out of 53 that we're on right now. We've still got plenty of time. This is the site of where that incident occurred. It appeared that Bruno just touched the gravel on the right-hand side, and that was enough to send him into a slight spin. And he hit the left-hand wall there. You see where the bales are all tied up there. And it's even lower now. It's 7 seconds. So we're going to have a battle for a second place here before long between Dave Miller and Bruno Chacon. I'm sorry, not Dave Miller. Between Bruno Chacon and John Team for third place. So this is significant. Eventually, John is going to catch him. And John's car, fresh from the pits a while back, is repaired. So the Ferrari mechanics got him all squared away. And Bruno is driving a car that is not handling well, obviously. The numbers on the board tell the tale. The gap is decreasing quite a lot. So, it's all down. It's in just the space of time that, we were talking about it. It's down to 2 seconds now. So he's lost a full 5 seconds to John Team Bruno has. So he's probably going to be sailing right by him, especially if he's on a stretch like this. But he'll have to be very careful because, and here is Bruno now, heading into a... And he gets by on the outside, pretty easily done, but Bruno must be really having difficulty with that car. So John Team up to 3rd place, Bruno down to 4th. He's a full lap ahead of Simon Watman, so even with the difficulties that he has, Bruno could probably finish in 4th place with no problem. But the question is, does he want to keep driving the car in that shape? He might be better off going into the pits and getting it fixed so that he can finish the race with a car that's at least straight. We'll have to keep an eye on Bruno and see what he does. And Bruno keeps going, but yeah, he's fighting that car. The wheel is not yeah, you can see it's oversteering quite a lot. And he's having a hard time just keeping it on the circuit. And he's not going to go for the pits. He's going to keep going. So Bruno has elected to just finish the race with what he has. And hopefully he won't have any more issues because he's had plenty of contact with the wall, and we'd be really ashamed to have come this far and not finish. But now Jonathan Asserklint has risen to 7th place in the race. He finally accumulated enough laps to get ahead of Drexler. So he is now in 7th place, according to the board. And it's the number of cars that are running, 7. Yeah, Bruno's definitely not moving at the pace he was moving at earlier. Okay, now this is interesting. Miller is 32 seconds ahead of John Team. Question: can John close and pass him for 2nd place? Because John Team clearly has a horsepower advantage with his Ferrari over the Lotus of Miller. So is there enough time, and can he do it? We'll know when we come through some of these traps here and we see the sector times. Yes, in fact, John Team is closing. 2 seconds there. It was 31 seconds, now it's down to 29 and a half. So the answer is absolutely yes. John Team is going to make a charge for 2nd place. It's definitely a possibility. Comes Miller for the corner. Let's see what happens when Team crosses the line. We'll see what the time is. It's 29.5 seconds right now by the Games Watch. It's 26 seconds now, so Team is definitely closing on Miller. So we're going to have a battle for 2nd place before the race is over. Chacon, I'm really surprised. He's just going to soldier on with that car the way it is. You can see him struggling as he's coming to a halt here, just to keep the car going straight. And he's running much, much slower. I don't think he's in any danger of losing his place to Simon Watman because he's a full lap ahead of him, but still. If I were him, I'd probably dive for the pits and try to get the thing fixed. But maybe a lap is too little time for the amount of repairs that would have to be made. So maybe he's doing the right thing. Yeah, he seems to be doing okay, just not as quick as before. That's the main thing. The gap now from second to third appears to be 23 seconds. So that was another 3 seconds that John shaved off. So while we're waiting for this second place battle to emerge, it'll take a bit, but it'll get there eventually. I'm quite sure of that. Let's take a look at trivia question number 2. Trivia question 2 is... In the short history of the Moroccan Grand Prix, which constructor scored the most wins with 4? Is it A. Maserati, B. Bugatti, or C. Ferrari? Time is up. I believe Barry Lynn said A. Maserati. Anyone else care to... throw their hat into the ring? Oh, shoot! Hang on a minute. We'll come back to this in a minute. Bruno has DNF'd. Bruno is out of the race. Must have just happened a second ago. Let's see. Maybe he should have gone for the pits. Got some repairs. Who knows? Well, I have no clue what happened to Bruno, unfortunately. Oh, here we go. Here it is. So we ended up against a hay bale. So I guess the car proved harder to handle than he thought it was going to be. I don't know. That seems like he slowed down for some reason. Yeah, let's see here. He's driving along. Everything seems okay. Oh! That looks like it could be an engine failure there. Well, maybe not, because the engine seems to be running there. I'm not sure what happened there. Well, in any case, he's out of the race. That's really unfortunate, because he was having a great run. Oh, man. So, let's go back to... Yeah, it's 5 seconds now. We're going to have to go back to that trivia question later. Because Miller is now just 5 seconds ahead of John. team, who is catching him hand over fist. This is going to cause Simon Watman to move up into 4th, Francois Remen to move up into 5th, and Jonathan Assercliffe to move up to 6th. Yeah, team is right with him now, so a battle for 2nd place is forthcoming here. There they are, and he sails right by into 2nd place. John Team, well, that was rather uneventful, but John Team assumes 2nd place. Miller is down to 3rd place. My goodness, look at that. John is driving flat out. Oh, and Miller is out of the race. Miller is out of the race. Something happened here. Oh, it's an engine failure. The engine lets go on the Lotus. And Miller's out of the race. That's too bad. Perhaps the pressure from behind caused him to push the car harder than he should have, but Miller is out of the race as well. That's incredible. We're having a lot of late race DNFs here. First Chacon, then Miller. Oh, man. But look at this. Here comes Simon Watman. And in another lap, he's going to overtake Miller, I believe, and that will put him in 3rd place. Simon Watman. Driving a Lotus in a track that really would favor, you would think, the big engines with a lot of horsepower. And here he is in a Lotus, ready to take 3rd place. Now, his teammate was driving the same kind of car. So you got to ask about his engine and his car. Is it in tip-top shape? Is it going to make it to the end? We'll just have to wait and see. Then Chacon out of the race. Francois Remen is going to end up with a top 5 finish if he keeps going here. There he goes, crossing the line. And Jonathan Assercliffe in 7th place. He's going to end up with a 6th place finish if he keeps going. Actually, 5th now. All right, I think we're safe enough to go back to the trivia question now. In the short history of the Moroccan Grand Prix, which constructor scored the most wins with 4? A. Maserati, B. Bugatti, or C. Ferrari? I think Barry Linson, Maserati, and someone else in the forum, and I'm not sure who they are, is going with A as well. So Maserati seems to be the favorite. Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. The correct answer is Bugatti. 1926, 1928, and 1931 and 32. I got to take my hat off to John Team for bringing the car back to where it is now in 2nd place after the incident that he had at the head of the pits. He had to come in and have a lengthy stop to repair the car, get it back to a point where it was competitive, and here he is in 2nd place after all of that. He's a lap down in the leader, but he's in 2nd place. Simon Watman eventually is going to be in 3rd, with Francois Remen eventually 4th, and Jonathan Assercliffe eventually will be in 5th place. Where is he? There he is. soldiering on. Johnny Aces. For Scuderia Centro Sud, a late entry into this race. Looks like there's... I'm going to look at something here. It looks like there's something... I'm going to see the side of his car here. Yeah, he's got a big dent in the side of his car. So, I'm surprised it's performing as well as it is, frankly. Oops, sorry. It wasn't run regularly in the 20s and 30s, it was run sporadically. So, all the cars are essentially on a lap by themselves. Now, we have Anders Nilsson in the lead, 38 laps complete. John Team in second place, and he's a lap behind the leader. Simon Watman is 2 laps behind, or actually 3 laps behind the leader, so he's 2 laps behind Team, so there's no chance for any kind of a battle there. Miller is out of the race. Remen is a lap down on Simon, so he doesn't have a chance to really battle with him. Then Chacon out of the race. And then Asserclinth is 4 laps adrift of Remen. So, really, that's the difficulty we're in right now. There's not many cars... there are no cars really in contest with each other. They're all laps apart. It's like an endurance race. Team has to overtake somebody here. Who's this? Ah, it's Nilsson. So he's actually looking to unlap himself. Interesting. If I were Nilsson, I'd probably just let him go by. But there is still quite a distance to go in this race. He's definitely faster than Nilsson at this point. Here we are, start-finish area. So let's see what happens here. Is he going to attempt an overtake? Not here, but probably in the next couple of corners, I would think. And Nilsson, being in the position he's in, is not going to want to pick a fight with someone who's a lap down. But then, of course, he's going to be on the leader lap. Yep, there he goes. So now Nilsson has a full, Team now has 2 minutes, 36 seconds to make up. in order to challenge for the lead. Can he do it? I don't know. He's driving that car for all it's worth. You can see him sawing at the wheel there. So he's got a long ways to go, but who knows? Maybe he can do it. We've seen crazier things in this race. Yeah, look at him pull out an advantage already. He's definitely moving faster than Anders is. The question is it fast enough to make up a whole lap before the race is over? I don't know, because we got 13 laps to go at this point. The telltale will be how much that time comes down by the time we get to the next start-finish line when we cross it. It was 2 minutes 36 seconds before, and he's driving for all he's worth. So we'll see what he gets when he hits the line again here, and that'll tell us if it's even feasible. Well, he's already gained 2 seconds. Both going past Remen here. And after one lap, the gap is down to 2:31. So it was a 5-second gain there. So let me do some calculating here. See, 5 seconds times 12 laps was 60. It's a minute. So it's not going to be enough. He's not going to, at this rate, he can't catch him. It does not appear. There would have to be something spectacular that would happen to Nilsson if a team were to catch him at this point. But as it is now, we have 2 cars on the lead lap. Simon is in 3rd place. Francois Remen in 4th. Dave Miller is still in 5th despite being out of the race, and Chacon is 6th. Eventually, Asserclinth will have completed enough laps to move up to 5th place. He is still soldiering on. I probably said that too many times this race. My apologies. But that's a great drive. Even though he had an early problem, kept going. Here comes Team. He's going to have to overtake Asserclinth, which shouldn't be too much trouble. Yep. Flies by. No problem. John's just look at him. He's just whoa, 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 John, look out, please. My goodness. I'm not convinced that he can make up a whole lap in the time that's left, but he seems to be convinced. So, going back to the question we were asking earlier about where this leaves the points chase, Tim Hill has already won the championship. We know that, but thanks to the notes that Juha has prepared for me, in the driver's points, Anders can only take second from Juha if he wins, which Anders looks like he's going to, and scores fastest lap, and Juha doesn't score fastest lap and finishes lower than fifth. Well, that part of the equation with Juha is already fulfilled itself. He is out of the race, so won't score any points. So Anders can only take second from Juha if he wins and scores the fastest lap. So the question now is, who has the fastest lap? I'm going to attempt to figure out the answer to this now. Give me one moment. And this is no surprise to me, but the best lap so far is by John Team. 2 minutes, 30.217 seconds. So, it doesn't appear that Anders is going to be able to overtake Juha in the points, based on the information that's been given to me. So, there you go. Anders laps Assercliff once more. Assercliff is now into sixth on the board there, so now he just has to drive as far as Miller drove, make up that distance, and then he will be in the top five. Excellent, so long as he keeps going. That's the thing. We have 5 cars. The friend of mine who predicted there'd be 4 left. I hope he's wrong. It's really hard to believe this is November. I got to tell you, I've been thinking about this myself. You know, this season of ISO racing coming to a close. We're going to be starting another one soon with different cars, but a series that so far it was revealed on the website, on our forum, and so far the reaction has been very positive, which is good. So looking forward to an excellent situation there. But you guys all know what I'm thinking about. How many months until May until we can do an Indy 500, which should be, you know, which is what I'm always looking forward to. So there'll be that. There'll be plenty of other interesting races that will encompass the Lucas Vidra Trophy, which of course is all about versatility. Yeah, Nilsson's taken it off the boil. He is driving now basically to preserve the car so that he can come home the winner. He doesn't want, he's not, conversely, Team is driving like his life depends upon it. So, we look at Anders here. He's driving very calmly, collected, nothing too crazy. He's got almost a full lap between himself and second place, so he doesn't need to drive crazy. Contrast that with Team, where let's watch him when he goes through a corner here. Yeah, even in that corner, you can see he's really on the edge. Team is in a different spot altogether. He's definitely driving way faster. The gap has dropped to 2 minutes 19 seconds, but still, there's just not enough time left. Look at him four-wheel drift through that corner. Excellent driving. I mean, I like loose cars too, but good grief. My goodness. He's driving qualifying laps now, basically. But it's important because, according to the information that Yuha gave to me, Anders, if he wants to be in second place in the title, he has to win and score the fastest lap. And because John Team has got the fastest lap of the race, that's not going to happen, apparently. Yeah, he's right on the very edge the whole way through. Four-wheel drifting, fantastic. And the time between first and second is dropping all the time, but Nilsson's looking at that time and he's going, he can't make that up. With 9 laps to go. It's not going to happen. Here's Simon in third place in the Lotus. He's still okay. Doesn't seem to have any problems. He seems to have taken good care of that car. And now Asserclint is 5th. So all of the DNFs are now all in a line, and we have the cars that are we have 5 cars left in the race. I thought for a second that Simon was slowing down, but he wasn't. He just taking it easy. I think it's pretty much, well, except for John Team, everybody is on the page of take it easy, let's just get home. Oh my goodness, Francois Remen on that page. He's kicking up some dust here. But a 4th place for Remen in this race would be fantastic. Driving the BRM. Well, the most interesting car to watch at the moment on track is John Team, because he's driving like a bat out of hell. So I think I'll keep the camera here for a little bit. There are no direct battles on the track with anybody. Everybody's laps apart. But John is definitely driving that Ferrari like another, well, of a totally different generation. A Canadian driver named Gilles might have driven, but there he goes past Simon. But the road holding he's able to do is pretty amazing. This might be a better view. Yeah, he's on the ragged edge a lot of the time, but he's also very precise. Which seems to be two completely polar opposite things, but he looks in great shape right now. Here comes the start-finish area. Let's see how he handles the first turn. Yeah, you got to start braking for that turn really earlier than you would in a modern car. Under the bridge. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer as he gets under power there. But now that, yeah, the gap has dropped to 2 minutes 11 seconds. It's dropping bit by bit each lap, but just not enough, I'm afraid, for us to have a battle at the end here. But it's been a very good Moroccan Grand Prix as far as the drivers who are able to take their cars as far as they have. Unfortunate for many drivers, you can see that long list there of DNFs. But and keep in mind, this is John driving after an accident, so he kept the car rolling. That's a complete lap there. 2:09. Yeah. See, look at how he four-wheel drifts through there. That's fantastic. That's great driving. And he knows exactly where he's going to have the car on the exit of that corner, too. That's really good. That's the kind of stuff that's going to... I'm going to make a prediction now that in the Quaker State 500 next week, he's going to finish in the top 3. If he drives like that, with that kind of threading the needle and able to do that lap after lap, that's exactly the kind of driving that you need to win at Pocono or do well. So I predict that he's going to do well next week, based on what I'm seeing here, because the same skill is needed. The tunnel turn at Pocono, doing practice laps there. I'm driving through there nearly flat out. I just breathe the throttle before I get in there, and then I'm just on it again. But I'll bet that John is going through there flat. And it's unfortunate that this is the last race of this series. The sun sets on another ISO series, but we've got a lot to look forward to coming up in 2023. I'm especially looking forward to the World Sports Prototype Championship. It's going to be something very different than what we usually do here. Well, we do sports car races, but not in a big series usually. Usually it's a smaller one, but not the big giant cars. It ought to be really interesting, a lot of fun. John's got it down to 2 minutes, 6 seconds. And I'm sure when he comes across the line, it's going to be even less, but still not enough. Actually, no, it's very close to the same amount. And very soon, Anders will be crossing the line. Eventually, we'll have 5 laps to go. Yeah, he's coming up to the start-finish straight now. As he crosses it, it'll be 5 laps to go. Yep. And we've been watching him drive. He's definitely taken it off the boil. He's not driving as intense as he was earlier. He's trying to preserve the car. He knows he's got the distance in hand. Yeah, and that fastest race lap is still held by John Team, so it appears that Juha will maintain where he is in the points. Gives you an idea of where they are right now. Tim Hill already the champion. Yeah, he's just very controlled at this point. Very calm and cool. Doesn't want to get into any skirmishes with anybody. Doesn't want to do anything silly. Just wants to baby that car home. And Anders is very good at that. That's also a quality that you'll need in next Sunday's race, is the ability to baby a car, because it's 500 miles and you cannot push an engine past its breaking point. There's definite markers that we need to keep an eye on, and I'm sure Anders has thought of that as well going into next week's race. It's going to be a very busy week at the Tricky Triangle this week. Everybody getting their race setups in order. Now there are 4 laps to go. Oop, a little bit of oversteer there, nothing crazy. Once again, a shout out to Martin Lucina, who did an excellent job with this track and the cameras. Everything looks really nice. Great way to send off this series. Meanwhile, here's Team. I wonder if he's going to throttle it back at some point here, or is he still thinking, no, he's still going for it. You can tell just by looking at it with the naked eye. Then here's Simon going about his business. Driving in a similar fashion to Anders, it seems. And then here's Remen. Oh, he's closing in on Asserklinth again. This is another case of he wants to get a lap back. Or no, actually, he's going to be putting a lap on Jonathan. That's what's going to happen. It's the other way around. My apologies. Yeah, he's definitely moving at a faster clip than Jonathan is. Jonathan, I think, is still struggling with that. Something not being quite right in that car. The big giant gash on the left-hand side would be evidence of that. And here comes Remen sailing by. So Jonathan is now 3 laps behind Remen. Team just refuses to say die. Here's another beautiful corner. I love that. Excellent. Nilsson continuing on. There are 3 laps to go now. And considering the constructors' situation here just for a moment, Van Wall, second place was still open between Cooper and Van Wall at the start of this race. Van Wall needed to win combined with the first place Cooper finishing third or lower. Well, there's no Van Walls left in the race, so there goes that. And Maserati, despite having currently more points than Van Wall, can't take second. Even with a win, they'd be equal points with Cooper. So it appears that Cooper is going to hang on to their second place in the championship. Don't quote me on that, but that's what it looks like. Coming up on 2 laps to go here. We weren't really watching Anders in the early portion of the race. We only saw him towards the end, or towards the middle when Hlavic went out of the race. That basically promoted him to the lead, but we didn't see much of him prior to that. But he's been driving a very smooth race, evidently. That car is well taken care of, and providing that nothing crazy happens. 2 laps to go now for Anders. Oh. Oh my goodness, it appears that John Team has just set another fastest lap of the race. 2 minutes, 29 seconds. 0.567. And here we are into the final lap of the Moroccan Grand Prix. Anders Nilsson taking it very calmly and coolly. Calm, cool, and collected. Looks like he's on his way to a well-deserved win. Many other people falling by the wayside in this race, most notably Peter Hlavic and Tim Hille. Then a lot of people later in the race having trouble, like Dave Miller, Bruno Chacon, Mikael Drexler. Sturr also having problems, and Jakob Fredriksson after a spirited drive. But it appears that we're going to have a Ferrari finish in the lead. driven by Anders Nilsson. John Team still in second place, and he set the fastest lap again for the race. Look out! No, 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 no! Oh, no, no! No! Oh, my goodness! John has crashed on the last lap of the race! Get going! Get going! Oh, no! No! He's having trouble getting the car rolling again. Oh, no! He's lost a wheel! He's lost a wheel! Oh, my goodness! This is terrible! He had an assured second place, and the car... Oh! All that driving he was doing on the edge finally caught up with him. Oh, no! Oh, John, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. He's trying like Gilles Villeneuve to continue with 3 wheels, and he can't do it. He's just desperately trying to move that car. And any of us who've been in this situation know the feeling. You just want to get the thing rolling again. You're believing beyond belief. There goes Nilsson by. Nilsson on the final lap is going to win the race, but the second place car is sitting derelict on the side of the road. Does this mean that Wattman is going to... Well, probably not. Cheam will probably finish in second place despite that. Simply because of what happened with lap count. But here comes Anders Nilsson across the line to win the Moroccan Grand Prix. A fantastic drive. Congratulations to Anders. Fantastic. And John Team has retired, but he will end up in second because of laps completed. Here comes Simon Wattman. He is going to finish third. He can't make up the distance that Team lost. Now, unfortunately, that means I don't follow this series regularly, so I'm not sure, but I believe that means Team's not going to get those points. I don't believe he's going to finish second on the table, but technically I don't believe he's going to pick up the points for that. But man, it's terrible to finish the race like that. He was driving just with abandon, just like really, really drifting through those corners, and then unfortunately he just drifted too wide on that one corner, hit the hay bales, and it was enough to take a corner off the car. Really unfortunate. Anyway, but we're looking at the third place finisher, Simon Wattman, who very definitely has 4 wheels on his car. Here he comes up to the start-finish area to claim third place. And if I'm right, he won't be able to catch John Team at this point. No, he's going to come across the line with 49 laps completed. And that's the end of the race for Simon. But fantastic result for Simon Wattman in the Lotus. Colin Chapman will be very happy with him. This is interesting. Remen looks like he's having a problem of some kind. Is he out of fuel, or is this engine gone?
It looks like out of fuel.
Yeah, it looks like he's out of fuel. It looks like. Anyway, there goes. It's not really going to make any difference in the way they finish because these cars are laps apart. But that was, I believe that was...
It's not going to make any difference.
Yeah, it's not going to make any difference. Jonathan finishes in 5th, 4th for Remen. Remen is now doing donuts with a car that we thought had no fuel in it. Wattman is in 3rd, Team 2nd, and Anders is 1st. So it's about what we thought would happen, and the person that predicted to me that there would be 4 cars that would finish was correct. 4 cars finished the race. So, man, quite an exciting event. It lulled here and there, but definitely a lot of hair-raising moments for some drivers. Juha, you left the race pretty early on, but I wanted to say thanks for all the notes that you provided to me. It made
You're welcome. Point out one error. Maserati has actually taken 2nd place in the championship.
Oh, really?
Because of Anders winning.
All right. Well, wait. I thought Anders was driving a Ferrari. Or is
No,
he?
he's in a
He's in a Maserati. Okay.
Maserati. So
I know. I was thinking a team then. All right. That was just really spectacular, though. Jean was driving with reckless abandon. There was no way that he was going to make up that lap with the time that was left, but he just pushed a little too hard and ran off the road and hit the hay bales and lost a tire. And he was just trying to will the car on, but it just was not going to go any further.
well, I should thank him for it, because he took fastest lap. If he hadn't done it, Anders would have been second in the championship
That's right.
instead of me.
That's right. We were talking about that. All right. So we have interviews to get to. Let's get to the winner first. Anders Nilsson, congratulations on winning the Moroccan Grand Prix. We didn't see much of you at the early part of the race because there was so much crazy stuff going on behind you and in front of you. But once Hlavic retired, you basically inherited the lead. Was it as smooth a race from that point on as it looked on the TV?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I was feeling like I was nursing the engine, driving like a granny for 30 laps, almost worried that it's gonna blow up. Because I mean, I pushed it quite hard, trying to catch Peter when he was the only one in front of me. The others went off left to right. So, but he must have been driving really hard because I couldn't catch him. So I eased off, and suddenly, I don't know if he crashed or his engine blew.
Yeah, he crashed towards the end there. He was driving literally with the car sideways on every corner, trying to make up that lap, but he pushed it just a little too hard and hit a hay bale on the left hand side, lost a tire.
Oh yeah, okay.
Fun to watch him drive, but unfortunately he just.
There was no. I mean, I knew he was a lap behind, so I didn't resist when he came, but I couldn't have done it anyway. If it would have been battleful position, no way I could have stopped.
Well, the main reason he wasn't in that position was because he had to stop for a lengthy repair after that massive incident that occurred at the head of the pit lane. So that's the reason why he was so behind.
Maybe it was a good thing to be a bit slow in the beginning, than getting away from all the mayhem in the front.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in front of you and a lot going on behind you, but congratulations on an excellent drive. It was a masterclass in how to bring one of these cars home in one piece.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now let's bring in another finisher, the fifth place finisher, Johnny Aces. Fifth place in today's race. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
It looks like early on you had a bit of a problem and needed to drop into the pits for some repairs, but you didn't give up and you kept out there, and as the DNFs piled up, you rose up to the top of the standings into a top 5 finish. That's pretty good for this series.
Yeah, the 156 had no reason to be up there at all. The problem early on was that there was a hay bale in the middle of the track on the run down to the after a long full-on straight. After the left there was hay bale in the middle of the track, so it was like, okay, I need to avoid it. Which side? Okay, I'll try that side. Unfortunately, the car moved about 2 car widths further than I expected, and it was just like, okay, fair enough. I just don't take off a wheel here, please. Luckily for me, it didn't, and I had, I think, 2 more repairs, and then thankfully was able to make to the finish.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a prediction that there would only be 4 people left at the end of the race, and that turned out to be correct. So, but it was an exciting race and a good exhibition of how to control these cars at speed. So, congratulations to both of you. Looking ahead to next week, we have the kart series at Pocono, the Quaker State 500. I know, Anders, you're driving Roberto Guerrero's March, Cosworth. Yep. Any thoughts about that race going forward?
You know me and ovals. It's a scary thing. The first corner is just mad, but I'm looking forward. I think it's going to be my first race on Pocono, and I am looking forward to it.
You haven't raced Pocono before?
No,
that's hard to believe.
I don't think I did. Wilk says it's the same as the other one, that the last run, but I missed that one. But I think this is worse.
It's challenging. I've been doing practice laps, and you basically have to every lap. I mean, the scariest turn every lap is the tunnel turn.
Is that the first one is called tunnel?
No, it's the second turn.
Turn 2.
Turn 2.
I think turn 2 is easier. The first one scares the living shit
Okay,
out of me.
okay. You can tell me that after you've been in the race and around other people in turn
Okay.
2. That because it is very difficult to do that turn. You can do the turn flat if you're brave and you have the car set up just right. But try doing that when you're around other people. That's another story.
That's the problem with ovals. You're never alone.
Yes, you're not. Well, that was the last one we did. That was Nazareth. You're never alone there.
Oh,
God, that one is crazy.
Yeah, I missed that one because of personal thingies that then happens. But I regret missing it. It would have been fun doing that one.
God, I was so glad to see the checkered flag pop up in the corner of the screen. Like, oh, thank God.
It's a bit like me in this one then. It was like those 53 laps were, yeah, I was glad when it was over now.
Yeah. Yuha, what about you in next week? You're in Derek Daly's car.
I still have to start practicing. So,
Oh.
I don't have high hopes for it.
Well, you know, it's going to have an expanded field because it's a 500-mile race, but it should be good. Jonathan, you're our Paul Page. What do you think is gonna, or what are you looking for in the tricky triangle?
I suppose again, who can make the most stable and overall safe setup to be able to make the whole race. And I suppose secondly, how many will struggle with a bump at turn 3?
There's a bump at turn 3. There is also a very serious series of bumps right when you're exiting the pit lane.
So how
Which
many?
is
so
not
how
fun.
many? How many won't blow their engines coming out of the pits then?
Well, how many are going to take care of their engines? How many have a setup that is fast but also safe? And you know you can't set up the car for all those turns, all 3, because they're all different. Different
Right.
banking, different radius. So you can't just what we're talking for those who are where's the looking for them right here. Yeah, here it is. We're talking about the race that comes up next week, but it's a driver's track. That's what we say.
It's effectively, I think one of the turns are from effectively similar to Michigan.
No, first turn was inspired by Trenton Speedway. Second turn's inspired by Indianapolis, and then the third one is inspired by Milwaukee.
Milwaukee it is, yes.
Yes.
Hence why no setup works for everything.
Yes, that's why when you watch, some people will actually be making sway bar adjustments mid-lap. So, yeah, nuts.
That will be scary.
And up until when the real IndyCar series left, when Robert Wickens had his accident, they were just like, okay, that's it, no more. We don't like racing here anymore. They were making sway bar changes and weight jacking changes during the lap. So it's a very dangerous and spooky place. But that's next Sunday. Any closing thoughts from the two of you on this race, or the three of you?
No, I just want to thank ISO for putting this championship together, because it was an awesome car to drive, this 58. So thank you guys for doing it.
Yeah. No, I think it was a successful championship. We didn't broadcast the whole thing, but from what we understand, it was well liked by everybody. And Jonathan, good job on top 5.
Cheers, I'm just happy to have survived, and thank
Yeah.
you for putting on the broadcast tonight.
Sure. Yuha, any thoughts from you?
I'd just like to thank everybody for joining us this year. Sorry, my voice is going. Thanks for everybody who joined us, and hopefully we'll see you around next year again.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly more power, slightly more modern, but fun.
Yep. Anders, any last thoughts?
No.
No.
Thank you to you guys that streams and does this also. It's always fun to watch afterwards the race. So thank you.
All right. Well, in that case, we're going to close out the broadcast. Thanks everybody for watching, and hope you enjoyed the race. So for Anders, Juha, and Jonathan, this is Jason White saying so long from Morocco, and we'll see you next week for our IndyCar race. Hopefully, everyone take care and be safe.